Come on in, sit back, relax, and listen to episode 154 of the Wealth Tech Today podcast. I'm your host, Craig Iskowitz, founder of Ezra Group Consulting, and this podcast features interviews, news, and analysis on the trends and best practices all around wealth management technology. Our topic for this month is turnkey asset management platforms, better known as TAMPs. And we chose this topic because the TAMP market is one of Ezra Group's core areas of expertise. We conduct research on the TAMP market, and we provide technology and strategy consulting to TAMPs, as well as wealth management firms that outsource to TAMPs. So we're basically a full-service provider to the entire ecosystem. And speaking of which, if you're on the leadership team of a TAMP or broker-dealer or enterprise RIA or fintech provider, and you're facing strategic uncertainty and need some advice and guidance on wealth management technology and strategy, you should run, not walk, to our website, EzraGroupLLC.com, and fill out the Contact Us form on the homepage. Our experienced team can help with things like RFPs, software implementations, evaluations of your current platform, competitive analysis, and more. You can take advantage of our free consultations by going to EzraGroupLLC.com. All right, today's guest is Daniel Needham, who has been president of Morningstar Wealth since 2015. Before that, he was Global Chief Investment Officer for Morningstar's Investment Management Group. And Needham joined Morningstar back in 2009 through the acquisition of Intech, a provider of multi-manager and investment portfolio solutions based in Sydney, Australia, where he served as Chief Investment Officer. And Daniel and I spoke about Morningstar's TAMP offering, their switch of the underlying technology from their current provider to SmartX, and their upcoming UMA program, which is the first one they'll be launching on SmartX and their TAMP roadmap. So a couple of quick housekeeping notes before we continue. Please subscribe to this show wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. Make sure to check out our sponsor, the Invest in Others charitable foundation at investinothers.org. And now let's kick this thing off. I'm excited to introduce our guest for this episode. It is Daniel Needham, president of Morningstar Wealth. Daniel, welcome. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks, Craig. It's great to be here. I've listened a lot, and so I'm thrilled to be participating.
Glad to have you. We're up in the 150s episodes, so it's we're cranking them out. We've been doing this for a while, since 2019. So this is the third year of podcasting.
Yep. So I've timed well, right? So you've really nailed it. So that's good.
Yeah, you're in the good time. Like I'm not experimenting, trying to figure out how it works. Like it's all boom, boom, boom. So it's like clockwork. So you're in it perfectly. And where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Chicago, so at 22 West Washington, which is Morningstar's head office.
Yeah, that's the office with the big the deck looking out on the city. Right?
That's right. Level 7, we have a nice patio area, which is
patio.
That's right. It doesn't get used about 6 months of the year because we're in Chicago, but the 6 months it does, it's normally packed. So,
and 3 of those months it is used, you're wearing a parka.
That's right. Exactly. More of an igloo out there versus a place to sort of have a barbecue. But
now's the best time. Like July, August is a really good time to be in Chicago.
That's right. The 3 months that are really, really good in Chicago.
Before it snows in the end of September.
That's right.
Cool. All right. So let's head into this. We're talking about the TAMP offering of Morningstar. Can you please give us a 30-second elevator pitch?
Yeah, I think, advisors know and trust Morningstar and what we stand for. And our platform is really about bringing the best of Morningstar's data, research, insights, and tools together for fee-based advisors so that, they can spend time doing what they do best, which is working with clients to deliver advice and great outcomes that ultimately empowers investor success. And we've got a multi-custodial platform that gives advisors the choice about which custodian or custodians they want to work with, and they're able to see a holistic view at the client level, which really gives them the ability to manage their practice the way they want to. And our goal is to put the best of Morningstar at advisors' fingertips in an easy to use digital seamless workflow.
And Morningstar, as you said, is a trusted name in the industry of, I think, 200,000 advisors using one of your products or services. So the TAMP offering is something that they should all be taking a look at. And you've had this offering for quite some time.
That's right. We've had the TAMP for nearly 20 years in various forms and iterations. But I think we kind of been the best kept secret, I think, within Morningstar, and you've been able to access Morningstar's research and portfolios and tools. But we're really focused on investing and expanding out the number of advisors and investors that we serve with it. And we're really excited about the path forward.
What kind of advisors would you say would be in the sweet spot for the TAMP offering?
Generally, we're looking at fee-based advisors, that they can be within a BD or an RIA, but generally we're going to be serving that sort of, that 50 to 250 million practice. And generally they're going to be advisors that really value choice and flexibility. They want to be able to manage the practice the way they want to manage it. But we can serve advisors of pretty much any size.
And you have, right? If you have advisors of all sizes and with the other products and services as well, from
That's
the
right.
broker dealers to the individual RIAs.
Exactly. I think there's, we'd be one of we probably have one of the largest footprints within the advisor market, touching them in different ways, whether it's our, advisor workstation, whether it's Morningstar Office, whether it's using our data or tools in a BD platform or, at the wires. So yeah, we're ubiquitous, I think, within the advisor workflow.
And what people don't realize is that your coverage of products and services, you're clearly one of the largest data vendors, and everyone knows Morningstar Data, Morningstar Research. But I interviewed your head of software a while back, and if you just pulled out the software part of your business, you'd be one of the largest software providers in the industry.
That's right. That's right. You'd be surprised where Morningstar's software and tools turn up. And so we definitely have served a lot of advisors. But we think about technology as an enabler as well for us. And that's really where we're investing, is to be able to enable the advisor workflow. And yeah, we're really excited. And I'd say our best days are ahead of us.
I believe so as well. And so recently you announced you're switching your back-end technology to a new provider. Can you talk about that and what were the primary factors in that decision?
Yeah, I think, as I mentioned, we've had a platform for quite some time, our TAMP for some time, and we've seen the needs of advisors evolve, and the ability to deliver flexibility and choice, we think is more important than ever. And we've had great partnerships supporting the TAMP, but we felt from a technology perspective, we needed to enhance the underlying chassis of the platform, especially from a UMA perspective. We have multi-strategy accounts or UMAs now, but we really felt like we needed to partner with an API sort of technology first provider. And we have Morningstar Office, which is a portfolio accounting engine as well. So we've got some back-end capabilities that we were really leveraging a third party for. So we've made the decision to overhaul the middle and back office of the TAMP. And so we're using Office as our sole portfolio accounting and performance calculation engine. And we're working with SmartX to be our UMA and middle office provider. So working with them, API based connections, they'll be powering our UMA, our model manager, our rebalancer. And so really excited, Evan Rappaport and John Pincus, just great partners. I think they're really focused on innovating, leading with technology, disrupting maybe the market a little, and look, with Aaron and Alex as well, their head of tech and head of product, they're just a great team to work with. So like-minded organizations, and we just couldn't be happier with the partnership.
Yeah, we've been talking about SmartX for a while, long before they kind of popped up on the radar with everyone else in 2020 or 2021 when they started grabbing a lot of assets. But for years, no one was really talking about them except me, because I'd seen what they were doing. I liked their technology, and we're experts in UMA and managed accounts. So when I see a vendor with a new take on UMA and sort of really, as you said, technology first provider, I want to talk about it. So we've been talking about SmartX. We're really happy you guys are working with them. And we don't have any relationship with SmartX and in terms of a monetary relationship, but we're just happy to see vendors that we like work together and doing cool stuff.
Yeah, we're really we're excited about it, and we think the collective strengths of the organizations, like, we've really come together. That's the great approach with their API first approach, is that you can really build something that's right for your workflow, and we're going to be bringing some really cool features and functionality out. And I think the SmartX guys are they're a 10-year overnight success. They've been building that tech for some time, and it's super exciting.
Yeah, and it came from other tech, right? They started out in the hedge fund world, which is it's a lot more pressure, right? When you're in the hedge fund, things are changing. Of course, wealth management is pressure as well. You got to be right and correct. You can't have bad data or inaccurate. But hedge fund is at a different level of, So I think coming from that tech background, that client segment gave them a good base for moving into wealth management.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And we see that in their ability to, calculate performance real time, and it's precision that you need, I think, and that's the way the industry is going, and I think they're leading it.
Indeed. And so I'd like to kind of dig a little bit more into how you make this decision, because we work with a lot of firms like Morningstar on the tech side. We work with a lot of your clients, broker dealers, enterprise RIAs, and it's often an issue for CXOs, presidents of companies like yourself. When do you switch? How do you know that it's time to switch? So you mentioned UMA need, you mentioned APIs, but how did you know that, hey, now's the time we have to switch? What was your decision point?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that there's an easy answer to that question. I think strategically we could just see the way the industry was going, and we could see that that with advisors' expectations aren't declining, I would say. So, advisors, they're humans. They spend a lot of time in modern apps and using different sort of digital applications. And I think when they move into the sort of, the finance tech space, they don't change their expectations. They just get disappointed. and so, we could see that. And so for us, we really felt like we needed to improve the digital experience for our advisors. And that was the key. We could do, Jeff Bezos talks about, embracing external trends, and that generally, if it's a strong external trend, and you don't embrace it, you're probably going to be left behind. And for us, we could see that, and so that was really the catalyst. We needed to improve the experience, the workflows on our platform, and look, we looked at all of the major providers. We went through a comprehensive due diligence and evaluation process, and we signed confidentiality agreements with all the vendors, and they were great, and we were this was a bona fide search. We wanted to look for the best partner, and there's a lot of great providers out there, I would say. So it was not an easy decision, but we felt on balance SmartX were good because we liked where they were in their business life cycle. They're still in that sort of innovator, sort of pilot it, nail it stage, and that's great because we want to build something that's really well suited to our advisors and our clients, and we want to innovate together. I think when firms get really large, they turn into large professional services firms that have, cookie cutter playbooks. And so, and we felt like SmartX wasn't that. And so, it was a comprehensive process. It's a risky, moving, back end and middle office. It's risky. It's a lot of work, but we've got a great team, and we've got some experience doing some pretty complex projects, of this kind of nature, and so I feel really confident. We're really on track. Things are going well, and our goal is to just make sure there's no disruption for our advisors and their clients, and we feel good about that.
Yeah, we've seen that as well, working with a lot of different vendors, from large to small. That success breeds lack of innovation, right? You tend to innovate less as you get larger, and in order to get that level of success, you have to become a legacy provider. It takes a number of years to do that, and now your technology becomes old. You become beholden to your biggest clients, the legacy clients, and they start to drive your roadmap rather than innovative ideas driving your roadmap.
Yeah, that's right. The engineers that are closest to the pain point or the problem, that's where the innovation comes from. Solving real problems. But once they get to a certain scale, the engineers move out and the MBAs move in, and then it's about scaling and turning into a software product. So
can we talk about trends around UMA? So we're experts in UMA technology, UMA programs and platforms. But since I've been in the industry, I've been in financial services over 30 years, and specifically wealth management, 17 years. And ever since I started doing wealth management, UMA has been the next big thing. UMA is going to shake off. UMA is this, but it's sort of been a very slow, methodical process. But you saw that as a need that you had to have right now. Why is that? What trends are you seeing around UMA?
I think advisors are managing more clients and more assets, and their businesses are becoming more complex, and they want to be able to personalize portfolios for their clients, make them appropriate. Those that are leaning more on planning, maybe it's more geared towards the financial plan and the outcome, or those that are more investment oriented, they want to be able to bring some insight, but they want to be able to do it at scale. They don't want to be building bespoke portfolios for every client, but they also, they don't just want to take a single sort of, ETF managed portfolio and push it out to every client. And so, we think UMA being able to manage multiple sleeves in a single account, and UMH, being able to manage multiple accounts towards a single household allocation, we just think that's the direction of travel. Advisors can add a lot of value at that level for their clients, and allowing them the ability to have a few levers to pull at the account level or at the household level, can allow them to deliver the right solution for their client. But it also means they're not bogged down in having to build bespoke portfolios and rebalance portfolios, and so that's what we see with UMA. We have a UMA on our platform now. It's called a multi-strategy account. That's what we call it, and that's by far our largest growing, fastest growing strategy on our platform. Daylight second, and we've only, I think it's about 2 years now that we've had that sort of functional, and I would say that we've got a pretty basic MSA sort of UMA capability now, and it's very popular, and we don't expect that to decline. If you look at the Cerulli data, which I guess it's probably the most tortured data that the industry has, but we wouldn't be surprised to see UMA and SMAs be by far the largest category in the managed account area in the next decade. It really works well for advisors.
And growing. I think it hit $1 trillion in assets. I think UMA hit $1 trillion in assets 2 or 3 years ago.
That's right.
Fact checking on that to double check, but it's Repus PM is still growing as well, which is I'm still shocked about, because as you mentioned, more advisors really should be looking to bring insight at scale, personalization at scale, and you can't do that in Repus PM.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I do think the popularity of Repus PM really speaks to that durable need that advisors have of flexibility and choice as it relates to asset allocation and investment selection. And, if you look at the historic sort of managed account programs, the advisory programs, they just didn't have that. You took it off the shelf and that was it. I do think UMA has the potential to kind of maybe take some of the share from Repus PM for certain advisors. But there's also no reason why you can't have a advisor managed sleeve within a UMA. I mean, I think that's the future where, certain advisors, they've got insights, large cap US equities, maybe they want to build that portfolio. They've got an itch that they want to scratch, and if they're good at it and they know it, there's no reason they can't do that in a kind of scalable, risk controlled way. That's kind of the direction we see things going.
Yeah, we've seen that as well. A couple of larger broker dealers are also offering advisor managed sleeves in their UMA. So it's becoming more popular, sort of a hybrid where you're saying, look, we don't want you to do Repus PM, but we'll give you something to play with.
That's right. That's right. And, RIAs have been doing, that is there. Many of them Repus PM, they are, they're the firm, they're the practice, and they do it themselves. So, but technology is getting to the point where I think, I think direct indexing and some of the technology that underpins that, I think as the industry matures, I think the ability for sort of a merging of Repus PM and scalable portfolio construction, I could see that on the horizon.
That's a good future trend to come back and check in a few years.
Yeah, that's right.
Something you mentioned earlier about technology, that with your current provider, they're offering portfolio accounting and performance calculation. But when you bring SmartX in and integrate that, SmartX is going to be the rebalancer, and then Morningstar Office is going to do portfolio accounting and performance calculation. Why did you do that, and how is it going to benefit you in the long run?
Yeah, I think we've been using Morningstar Office to do a lot of the performance calculations for our TAMP historically, just the way things had played out. Morningstar Office was kind of a key back-end provider to the TAMP in early days. But we think the portfolio accounting engine is really a critical, essential service of the platform. Having the client data, owning that underlying capability, we think is really important. It's not for everybody. Obviously, I don't think you'd want to build it from scratch today if you didn't have one. But if you've got one, and we serve over 2,300 firms, RIA firms through Office. So we felt like we think the portfolio accounting, portfolio management offering is really critical for RIAs. I don't buy the commodity story and that there's going to be these kind of upstarts disrupting. It's a tough game. Getting the data right, getting the performance calculations right, that takes decades of knowledge and experience and innovation. But we have that, and we definitely want to see that grow. So it made a lot of sense for us to invest in both, and then Smartex can focus on what they do best, which is that UMA, chassis, rebalancing, using automation to save advisors time, to save us time, and so we felt like that was a good mix. And also, as Morningstar starts to build out, as we build out more and more data, new insights, being able to plug that straight into our accounting engine and integrate things in a way where we don't have to get on somebody else's roadmap, we think is really important. If you talk to Kunal, our CEO, he'll always talk about, there are certain things you've got to control your own destiny. And we think the portfolio accounting space is one of them for us.
It's a good decision. We have worked with other startup vendors who have built portfolio accounting engines from scratch in just the past 5 years. We did a couple. We did at least 2 of those projects. And yeah, it's not easy. They always think it is.
That's right.
We kind of lay it off them. Their eyes kind of get really wide, like they didn't realize, because there's so much going on, especially with all different security types and the different custodians and having to manage all that and T+1. So they it's really, and all the complexities of the different security types.
That's right. And if you look at the new entrants, even the one new entrant, the amount of capital they've raised and they're investing. I mean, it just and are doing a great job. It just highlights how challenging it is to do it well, especially as the security master list expands. Life doesn't get easier; it gets harder on the edges, in the corners. So,
yeah, well, especially we get into things like fixed income and how bonds work and coupon payments and how all the different types of preferred stock and other all those things, how they're handled, and the complexities are intense. So good explanation about how you made this strategic decision to not build portfolio kind of from scratch, but also not be beholden to others, and you want to control that. So that's a decision. Some things you're saying, hey, we're going to partner with SmartX for the rebalancer and these other tools and the UMA, but we're going to keep some of these things for ourselves.
Yeah, and I think that's picking the spots where you've got the capability and you think it's important, where you see your strengths, and then be willing to partner. And I know you as a firm and you as an individual are very focused on making sure that there's seamless integrations of third parties, so you can bring best of breed. Trying to be the best at everything is it's a losing strategy.
Yes and no. I mean, we get this question a lot: which is better, best of breed or all in one? And the answer is, it depends on you, right? In your firm, if it's a broker dealer or you have a fintech firm, how much effort do you want to expend on integrations? Because if every vendor's integration worked half as well as they claimed, we'd be out of business.
Yeah,
it wouldn't need us. So they don't really work well. There's always a lot of problems, and a best in breed solution will, if you have the capabilities like Morningstar does, you've got a huge bench, you've got developers, you're developing shop, so you understand how to do that. It's within your capability to pick and choose and be able to build out the connectivity between those. Other firms may not. They did not have that ability to do that. It's best. So they're best to do an all-in-one where they don't necessarily get the best everything, but having everything on one platform, one data store is immensely valuable.
Yeah. That's that choice around how important is that sort of seamless end-to-end versus, having the best component or capability within each of the elements of the workflow. So good points.
But also you made the point that bringing back to making decisions. You made that strategic decision. We want to own portfolio accounting. We don't need to own rebalancing, because you saw that as core to your other applications, because you've got this portfolio of tools, technologies that can feed into portfolio accounting. Other firms may not have that, so portfolio accounting may not be as important to them. but we always recommend look for your value add, and where your value add is, that's the things you want to keep. Everything else you want to outsource.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, so back to Morningstar Office. What will be the advisor experience? Will the TAMP be integrated into Morningstar Office in the front end, where the advisors who are using Office could say, "Hey, I want the TAMP." Boom, click here, and it just flows right through. Is that something you're thinking about?
Yeah, well, look, we're exploring different ways of building the integration. You know, our vision for the group is an integrated suite of wealth offerings that allow advisors to leverage our unique Morningstar insights in a way that works for their practice. And so, you know, our ideal state is we have a set of, you know, core capabilities that are able to be configured for the client workflow, whether it's an RIA or a fee-based advisor with a broker dealer. But look, we're still working through exactly how the two are going to be connected. Right now, we're focused on back-end integration and connections, and then over time we'll be working through the front end. But you know, we hired Bjorn Villestedt from Black Diamond, who, you know, I think had done a tremendous job at Black Diamond with their portfolio accounting, reporting service, and, you know, just the advisor client engagement tools that they've got there, we think are really good. And so, you know, Bjorn is very focused on how we could bring, you know, different elements of our TAMP workflow together for RIAs. And so, but I would say watch this space.
Keep your eyes on this.
That's right.
Everyone.
Exactly.
So, talking about the TAMP, so we've got the new technology in the back end, we've got integration with Morningstar Office, we've got plans for the front end. Are there any roadmap items you can share specifically around the TAMP?
Yeah, probably the biggest one, and certainly near term is direct indexing. You know, that is, you know, personalization at scale. That's being able to, you know, allow an advisor to pick a reference index portfolio, elicit preferences from the client, including ESG preferences, exclusions, inclusions, to be able to optimize that and include tax, then be able to report on that, including impact and tax alpha. So that's a big area of focus for us. We've just launched a pilot program on the TAMP. So we launched that at the beginning of July. We've got a subset of advisors that are interested in it. And, you know, it's not about sort of, you know, signing up thousands of advisors. It's about getting some early adopters to give us feedback and iterate around the solution. You know, we've got some really great feedback from our pilot advisors at the moment, and we're working towards a full launch in early Q4. And as we iterate, so we're kind of in a continuous release cycle at the moment. So, you know, looking to continually improve that, but that's probably the big one that's going to allow us to bring, you know, personalization, certainly within an equity portfolio, a single account initially, and then moving it into a UMA account so you can manage it as a UMA sleeve. That gives us proper tax management capability. So you can run that over an active equity SMA. And so that's going to be a key feature for us on the TAMP that we'll be rolling out this year. We're building it in a modular way as well, so that the components could be potentially used by an enterprise or in different configurations for an RIA, maybe a large RIA that wants to be able to use certain components. Maybe they want to bring their own indexes in. Maybe they have their own ESG data. Maybe they have a particular way of trading or reporting. So we're building with sort of, you know, API first as we're rolling that out. So that's exciting. That's a big one for us. You know, I think there's a lot of talk about direct indexing in the press and across the industry. So we're hoping to be able to have a compelling solution in market this year.
I like how you're building it through API. So would you call this a TAMP as a service?
I mean, I think we've been kicking around this idea of, you know, direct indexing as a service. You know, just kind of, and then we have, you know, our CTO and head of product saying, well, you know, is that the right term? You know, James is very knowledgeable in the space, but yeah, we're looking at it as a way so that we could potentially work with broker dealers or large RIA firms that really want a solution. They like Morningstar. We're very much focused on ease of use. And, you know, I think there's some really great firms like Parametric have done a tremendous job delivering, especially focusing on tax optimization. And then Aperio, you know, very focused on values-based investing. And, but, you know, generally they've tended to serve larger firms. And then you've got your kind of smaller D2C where they're going direct to consumer, which is kind of, you know, more of that smaller end. And we think there's a middle area, which let's call it sort of mass affluent, sort of, smaller sort of, lower low single digit millionaire households where, advisors running those practices, they need to be able to do it easily. And if you look at how complex direct indexing is, it's hard for advisors to manage lots of accounts. Our goal is to solve that and to make it really easy for advisors to manage lots of accounts in a really seamless way, in a more automated way. And so that's the pain point we're going after. The feedback so far has been good, but as they say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So we'll find out later in the year.
That could have implications. That would be a great idea if it was direct. If you could do direct indexing as a service, where a vendor who doesn't use any Morningstar products, rather a broker dealer without any Morningstar products, I can't imagine there is one. But if there was one, they could plug it into or if they had another platform, they could plug your service as an API into whatever portfolio management, UMA managed account platform that they have running, and it would just be another option on their existing platform.
That's right. That's what we're exploring. And I think there's within the equity SMA segment of the managed account sort of industry, we expect, along with UMA, we expect SMAs to start to take off again, and potentially at the expense of ETF managed portfolios. But the idea that personalized equity SMAs and also manager traded fixed income SMAs, we think they're going to become more and more important, and so it's an exciting area. I wouldn't be surprised if it increased substantially in the next 5 to 10 years. And so we think there's going to be a lot of broker dealers and RIAs that are going to be looking for solutions and partners, and we're definitely looking forward to exploring those options.
Daniel, we've run out of time. You said everything there was to say. Where can people find more information about Morningstar's TAMP?
Yeah, go to our website. We'll share that as a part of the podcast, but mp.morningstar.com. And check our website out. You can reach out to our relationship managers. Drop me an email. Happy to reach back out. But we got a lot of great things happening. We got a really exciting roadmap for the next 12 to 18 months, and really looking forward to being able to serve more advisors and help more investors.
Excellent, Daniel. Thanks so much for being on the program.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. Really appreciate it. A lot of fun.
Hey, it's Craig again. Here are my top 3 takeaways from this episode. Number 1, Morningstar switched tech platforms because their old provider just wasn't investing enough in their technology to keep up with the evolving needs of the market. Morningstar will also be utilizing some internal systems for portfolio accounting and portfolio calculations, such as Morningstar Office, which will save them some money. Number 2, Morningstar is planning to integrate the new TAMP offering with Morningstar Office, which is their RIA tech platform, and this would help them compete against Envestnet and Orion, who already have integrated TAMP and tech offerings. And number 3, their TAMP roadmap, Daniel shared a bit with us, includes direct indexing. They're launching a pilot program with a full launch in Q4, targeting mass affluent investors, and they'll also be offering a direct indexing as a service via APIs. Hey, you've made it to the end of another episode of the Wealth Tech Today podcast. Thanks for listening. And please go to our website, EzraGroupLLC.com, scroll to the bottom of the homepage, and sign up for our newsletter. Once a month, you'll receive an email chock full of wealth management goodness, news, information, links, and analysis. You will not be disappointed. Thanks for listening, and talk to you all again next time.